The governor's mantle is yours to bear. What life will your citizens know under your rule? Anno 117 Pax Romana is a city-building strategy game that places you in the role of a Roman governor. As with other city-building games, your mission is to improve the living conditions of the population you oversee. However, this was far from the reality of Roman politics, as corruption was deeply rooted in Roman society. Governors often exploited their positions for personal enrichment, frequently through burdensome taxation and outright extortion. As the Roman statesman Cicero pointed out during his famous prosecution of Verres, the corrupt governor of Sicily, it was almost impossible to describe the deep hatred foreigners felt towards Rome because of the foul behavior of the men sent to rule them. Today, we'll explore fascinating facts about Roman history and examine how accurately Anno 117 Pax Romana reflects the realities of the empire. Governors were typically drawn from the senatorial class. To qualify for the Senate in the Roman Empire, a man needed property valued at 1 million sesterces. Young aristocrats began their careers in the military, serving as tribunus laticlavius in their early 20s, and by 25, with the emperor's approval, they could gain entry into the Senate as a quaestor. Membership in the Senate was mainly hereditary. He then advanced through the cursus honorum, and by the age of 43 could attain the consulship. After completing his term of office as consul, typically less than a year during the empire, if selected by the Senate and approved by the emperor, he would govern a province. In HBO's Rome, Lucius Vorenus, a centurion from the plebeian class, is promoted to senator by Gaius Julius Caesar. This illustrates how, through merit, even a commoner could rise to the senatorial rank and, in effect, govern a Roman province. Roman senators did not receive a salary for holding office. However, provincial governorships, such as those in Africa, could yield as much as 1 million sesterces annually, making them highly coveted posts. While the game depicts archers firing from galleys, Roman naval tactics relied more on ramming enemy ships and boarding them. The Romans were known for their legions, not their ships. Only in moments of crisis such as the Punic Wars against Carthage or Pompey's campaign against piracy did the Romans commit to building a powerful navy. Naval battles were rare, especially during the imperial period. Here we see the iconic lorica segmentata, made of iron plates forming a corselet and buckled on. It offered strong protection against heavy blows and was relatively light compared to the lorica hamata. In contrast, the lorica hamata was cheaper and easier to maintain, making it the armor most Roman legionaries and cavalry relied on in the imperial era. Roman artillery like the onager wasn't often used out in the open field. It mostly came into play during sieges, both for attacking and defending forts and cities. The captured Jewish leader Josephus records that at the siege of Jerusalem in 70 AD, the 10th Legion had machines that could launch stones weighing a talent, nearly 400 yards. Here we see lavender fields besides vineyards. Wine was part of everyday life, yet public drunkenness was considered a disgrace. The Romans cultivated many distinct grape varieties, with red wine especially common. Beer was rarely consumed by the Romans, who regarded it as a drink fit for the Germans. Even so, archaeological evidence suggests that Roman soldiers at Hadrian's Wall did drink local beer. In the Roman world, theater never held the same importance as it did for the Greeks of the classical and Hellenistic periods, even though the Romans built theaters throughout the empire. The vast Roman theaters were not ideal for plays that relied heavily on dialogue and made the Romans lean toward comedies and elaborate displays rather than tragedies. Condemned criminals were sometimes executed in staged reenactments, like being crucified in the play of Laurolius or burned alive on a pyre to portray the death of Hercules. Temples were regarded as the sacred homes of their gods, not places where crowds gathered inside for worship. Most rituals happened outside, and the statues of the deities were paraded during festivals. The Romans worshipped many gods, and as their empire spread across the Mediterranean and into the east, they welcomed foreign deities and their cults. Priesthood in ancient Rome was not a separate institution in the way it later became in Christianity. During ceremonies, the emperor would cover his head with his toga to signify that he was acting as a priest. Although Augustus refused to be worshipped as a god while he was alive, in Aphrodisias, a grand Sebastian was built where he was worshipped as one. Many Roman emperors were deified, often alongside the goddess Dea Roma, the divine personification of Rome. Gladiatorial combats and chariot races were among the most popular spectacles in Roman society. Many Roman cities constructed amphitheaters, but the Colosseum in Rome was the largest of them all in the Roman world. It could hold around 50,000 spectators. Seating was strictly arranged, with senators, equestrians, and the emperor occupying the best seats closest to the arena, while ordinary citizens filled the middle tiers. Women were relegated to the highest tiers, where they would have the worst views. The sole exception to this was the Vestal Virgins, who were granted places among the elite near the arena, a privilege that reflected their unique sacred authority. Emperor Claudius oversaw the construction of two major aqueducts, the Aqua Claudia and the Aqua Anno Novus. Both had been initiated under Emperor Caligula in 38 AD, meant to expand Rome's water supply and for his extravagant naumachie. Claudius completed both aqueducts in 52 AD. Naumachie were occasionally staged in the Colosseum and other arenas across the empire, but they remained rare because of their immense cost. While the Roman navy primarily relied on free citizens and its allies to man its oars, the galleys in the Naumachie were rowed by slaves and prisoners of war. Anno 117 Pax Romana does a good job bringing Roman history to life, but a few added details could have improved the experience. That said, it's undeniably beautiful. Which of these facts did you find most fascinating? And if you became emperor, what's your survival strategy against power-hungry generals ready to strike?